She says things like, "Everyone has a past," or "Sex doesn't mean anything to me," with a calm, confident tone, as if she's completely at ease. But that detachment isn't P-sets a shield. Behind those words is a heart that's learned to feel less, trained to see connection as risky. In this video, I'll break down 8 phrases women use when they've been with many partners, showing how each one hides the truth about emotional numbness, fear, or loss. You're not here to judge her, but to see clearly, because missing these signs can hurt you. She's not lying when she says these things. She's protecting herself. Each phrase is a layer of armor built from years of emotional rewiring. The more she's been through, the better she gets at sounding distant yet self-assured, but words always carry clues, patterns of pain hidden as strength. By listening closely, you'll see she's not confessing directly. She's revealing through repetition. Let's decode these phrases one by one, starting with the most common and revealing. 1. Body count is just a number. She says it smoothly, almost like she's above your question, but her eyes might flicker for a split second. This phrase isn't about reassuring you, it's about controlling the conversation. When she says her body count is just a number, she's trying to shift the narrative before you can judge. She knows men often value loyalty and exclusivity, and deep down, she understands that a high number might change how you see her. So she flips it, making you feel guilty for even caring. If it was truly just a number, she wouldn't need to defend it so quickly or turn it into a debate about your insecurities. This line is emotional judo. It takes your natural instincts and uses them against you, making you question your standards. Don't argue or attack when you hear it, just watch. Her words show how she handles shame and accountability, deflecting by making you feel wrong for asking. A woman at peace with her past doesn't need slogans, she owns it quietly. The truth lies in the silence after her words, not in the words themselves. 2. Everyone has a past when your questions get too close. She softens her voice and says, "Everyone has a past," like she's asking for understanding. It sounds compassionate, but it's really a way to close the door. This phrase isn't about connecting, it's about testing how much you'll overlook. She's not asking for forgiveness. She's seeing if you'll ignore what others couldn't by saying this. She makes judging her seem immature, appealing to your empathy to lower your guard. Men who want to be the good guy often fall for it, feeling like they should accept her without question. But there is a difference between understanding someone's past and pretending it doesn't matter. When she says this, she's really saying, "I've done things that might make you pause, and I need to know if you'll let it slide." A woman who's healed is open about her past without minimizing it. If she's using this phrase as a shield, she's not healed, she's hiding. Don't just nod, listen for what she's not saying. 3. If men can do it, women can too. This sounds like a call for fairness, equality, right? But it's not about freedom, it's about permission. When she says this, she's justifying her actions by comparing them to men's, implying you shouldn't care. She's not trying to be equal. She's trying to detach emotionally, mimicking a kind of indifference she thinks men have. But biology tells a different story. Men and women bond differently. Men get a dopamine hit from conquest, while women release oxytocin, which builds attachment. When she tries to act detached, she's fighting her own wiring, teaching herself to feel less with every casual encounter. This isn't empowerment, it's exhaustion disguised as strength. She's not matching men's behavior. She's building emotional walls to avoid hurt. When you hear this, don't argue about fairness. Recognize it as her way of saying, "I've been hurt," and feeling nothing feels safer. She's not fighting for equalities. She's fighting to stay numb. For, "I just like my freedom," she says it lightly, maybe with a smile. When you ask where things are going, "I just like my freedom," it sounds like independence, but it's really distance. This isn't about strength, it's about strength, it's about fear of vulnerability. Commitment means accountability and emotional risk, and she's learned that those come with pain. So she calls her avoidance empowerment, staying uncommitted to keep control. In today's dating world, freedom sounds appealing, but too much of it becomes isolation. She's not chasing love, she's chasing the ability to leave before being left. When she says this, she's not saying she's strong. She's saying, "I've been hurt, and I'm not risking it again." Don't mistake it for confidence. She wants the flexibility to take your attention without giving certainty, keeping her options open while you're left waiting. This phrase is a warning. She is not inviting you closer, she is keeping you at arm's length. 5. I don't regret anything, I learned from it. It sounds wise, like she's grown from her past, but this phrase often hides unprocessed pain. When she says she has no regrets, she's protecting herself from facing accountability. Admitting regret means admitting mistakes, and that's hard when she's built an image of strength. Instead, she calls it learning to avoid guilt, but real growth shows in actions, not words. If she truly learned, you'd see changed behavior, not repeated patterns dressed up as wisdom. This phrase is a shield, letting her dodge reflection while keeping old habits alive. She's not lying to you, she's lying to herself, convincing herself her past doesn't define her. But if she's still repeating the same choices, she hasn't learned, she's just found better words. Don't fall for the poetry. Look at her actions. Regret isn't weakness, it's awareness. Denying it means she's still running from the truth. 6. I was just having a phase. When she talks about her wild years or reckless choices, she might shrug and say, that was just a phase. It sounds like she's moved on, but this is a way to erase the past, not learn from it. By calling it a phase, she distances herself from it, acting like it was someone else. But dismissing it as temporary doesn't mean she's grown, it means she's hiding. Those phases were often patterns of seeking validation or escaping pain, and while the lifestyle may have changed, the underlying needs often stay. The detachment or thrill seeking from that time doesn't vanish, just shows up quieter, like flakiness or avoiding deep commitment. A healed woman owns her mistakes. A deflective one calls them a phase. Don't judge her past, but notice how she carries it. If she's still editing her story, you might see that phase repeat itself. 7. Sex doesn't mean anything to me. She says it casually, like it's no big deal, but this isn't confidence, it's disconnection. When sex stops mattering, it's not because she's free. It's because her ability to bond has been worn down. Biologically, intimacy releases oxytocin, which builds trust and connection. But after too many broken bonds, her brain stops expecting safety, producing less of that bonding hormone. Sex becomes a transaction, not a connection, because feeling nothing is safer than feeling hurt again. Men might mistake this for maturity or low maintenance, but it's not, it's emotional shutdown. When she says this, she's not bragging about freedom. She's admitting loss, saying, "I used to feel, and I wish I still could." You can't fix that by loving her harder. It's a warning that her heart has learned to stay closed, and no amount of effort can undo that kind of numbness. 8. I don't get attached easily. She says it like it's a strength, like she's in control of her emotions. But this isn't maturity, it's exhaustion. Not getting attached easily doesn't come from wisdom. It comes from running out of trust to give. After too many broken connections, she's learned to stay distant, flirting without feeling, engaging without investing. In therapy, this is called defensive detachment, a way to stay safe by never fully showing up. She's not avoiding love because she's confident. She's doing it to survive. Every past attachment that ended in pain took a piece of her, leaving her guarded and empty. When she says this, she's warning you, "I've lost too much to let myself feel again." You can't save her by trying harder. Her detachment will only drain you to believe her when she says she doesn't attached, she's telling you what she's lost, not what she's gained. These 8 phrases sound simple, but they carry the weight of guilt, fear, and emotional scars. They're not just words, they're signs of someone protecting themselves from their own past. Most men hear these and think they're dealing with confidence or honesty, but it's really self-preservation. Each phrase shows how she's learned to disconnect, turning pain into a polished defense. Understanding these isn't about judging hurts, about seeing clearly. When you decode what's behind her words, you stop taking her behavior personally and start seeing the patterns. You can't build something real with someone who's still guarding their wounds, but you can choose to protect yourself. Your power lies in recognizing these signs, not in fixing her. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe for more insights into reading what's unsaid. Like if it hit home, and comment which phrase stood out most. Once you see the truth behind her words, you'll never be blindsided again.